We got this early 70s BF Goodrich push mower here. We're going to get this fellow up, get it going. I'm not sure how long this thing's been sitting, but this was in a barn find I picked up with some other stuff. So, as you see, this motor here, she's locked up tighter to drum. So, we're going to dive into this and see about getting this motor freed up and see if we can get this thing to fire up and run. Well, I can turn the blade down here, so that's a good sign. So it must be the recoil. There she goes. She's starting to move. I bet you this thing's just full of crud underneath there. Let's take and pop this blower shroud off there and see what she looks like. Tell you what, I'm going to be working a little bit slow today. To be first and honest with you, I've been dealing with this abscess tooth now. Well, for a little while. I finally went to the dentist yesterday and I got to get this thing pulled. And I tell you what, these abscess tooths, they're not no fun. All they do, they just hurt. I can just tell you that right now. If anybody's ever had an abscess tooth before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I figured it's about time another will it run here on a push mower. Those last ones that we did here on the channel, we got those up going. We already sold those. So, something else. Oh, see, we got us a rugrat that's been inside here, a blower shroud. So we'll get that all sucked out of there with a shop vac. Going to be pretty much a method of getting everything all vacuumed and blowed out and lubed up again, and see if we can get this fellow to bark off. Starter clutch is free, that's a good sign. But as usual, the recoil. Oh. Well, that kind of sucks. That's part of our problem right there. The recoil on this is all busted and the spring's coming out. So, we're going to have to fix that. Yeah, this blower shroud and recoil assembly on this boy. This is in really rough shape. That spring's completely shot on it. Might possibly be able to be wound back up and put back together in there, but I think we're going to look and see if we got another blower shroud out back. I might have one to put on there. Pretty good. She's still a little tight, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this spark plug out of here. We're going to get some PV blaster down there inside that cylinder and start working it around. Thing spins over a little more freely. Yeah, she looks real dry inside that cylinder there, so PB blaster help those rings are stuck a little bit. And this, I believe this stuff helps free them up. Rotate this blade around. There we go. She's spinning over a little bit. There's one spot on there it's catching. We're gonna check want to check and see if this thing's got any oil in it. Huh. That's something. This thing here, she don't got a drop of oil in there. I wonder what's up with that. Well, we'll get some oil and dump down inside there and try to start rejuvenating this fella, and hopefully she's going to start. Boy, this guy was thirsty. Now, generally these crankcases on these motors, they hold 20 ounces of oil. Well, I put pretty doggone close to 16 in it. Try rolling this crankshaft over with some motor oil in there. One spot in there. She's wanting to hang up a little bit. There we go. There we go. There she goes. She's starting to loosen up a little bit. Get that oil worked in there. See, I got the spark plug out of there so I can work with this fella. There we go. She's spinning over. A little bit more of that PV blaster in that cylinder down there. Hey, this stuff here is some pretty amazing stuff. Yep, it's getting in there. I'm starting to, well, as you can see, starting to spit out some PB blaster through the old muffler here. So it's working itself into valves there. We're getting there. We're getting her loosened up. Now, I did find a shroud out back that I'm just going to take and throw on this thing for now to get it started. I don't have one of those recoil springs to replace that one that's broken on this original shroud. Alrighty. Set this guy down on here. Never been a fan of these type of recoils on these things. I tell you that right now. Just gonna need some PB blaster down inside there as well. Loosen this up a little bit. There we go. Now she's starting to loosen up. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta fiddle with them a little bit to fiddle with them, have a little discussion with them, and tell them how important it is for them to work again. Alright. Nice. What we're gonna do, we'll put some bolts in there and get this bolted down. We gotta see if this guy's got some spark or not. I honestly don't believe it will. I'd be shocked if it did. Alrighty, well, see if we got some spark on this thing. I'm going to roll this over, spit some of that plaster out of there if possible. There we go. She's spinning over. She's spinning over pretty decent right now. So, all right. That'd be my little, this cheap old spark plug tester I got from the harbor. Put on here, these work fairly good. Make sure our ground tab ain't arcing out here, and no, she's not. Well, let's see. She got some spark to her. No spark. I'm not seeing any spark on this fella. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all. So, well, I guess what my next step here will be, I'll go ahead and I'll pull this back off again here and file those points up and see if we can get some spark on it by cleaning the points. Dandy spark plug clutch remover. I tell you, these things are an awesome advantage, awesome invention. As you can see, they work extremely well. Now you got these snubs right here. Now you don't want to go hitting these with a steel hammer, otherwise you're gonna take and jimmy all this up, and you're gonna have a blaze of a time trying to get that starter clutch back on there again. So this is my approach, how I do it. I got me a regular pry bar here I got from the harbor, and just kind of do a little bit of pressure, and I got me a brass mallet. I just give her a good couple whacks. It's like she's off there. I know some people are going to say, well, you're going to jimmy that up with a hammer. This is a brass hammer. Brass is a really soft metal. As you can see, my hammer right here, the ends of the hammer are getting more mushroomed up than anything else. What we're going to do here is we're going to try to clean these points up. And if we don't have any success getting this thing started with points, and if it's going to need a set of points, we're going to eliminate these points on here, and we're going to put an electronic ignition on here. That's my rule of thumb, you know, for the price of the electronic ignition coil with the points, you know, it's worth it, and it's going to run better in the long run. So I'll get me a piece of sandpaper to clean these points up. Just use a piece of 180 grit sandpaper here to get in here and clean this. And I know you're all going to tell me right now, well, you know, they didn't make a points file for that. You know, I'm quite well aware of that, but you want to know something? I have a points file, but, you know, I just can't keep up with that thing. You know, I have it one minute, it disappears the next. I could get a little bit better at taking care of it, so that's probably part of the problem. 180 grit sandpaper works really well. I was hoping, though, just for nostalgic reasons, that we can get these points up and going again. These points, they are looking kind of old on here, though, but we're going to hope for the best. All right, well, I'll go get my feeler gauge here. We're going to check and see if they got the right gap on. Now, as far as the point gap on this, I'm looking for 20 thousandths, so check this out. Well, the plunger in here is working off the camshaft, so that's a good sign. Nope, it don't have the right gap on it. That's part of our problem. It's a little on the tight side. Well, that way you can't say, well, you just sanded it, you made it bigger. Well, apparently I didn't sand it enough if it's on the tight side. All right, let's check that again. Yeah, I can't even get my 20,000 gauge in there. Just for the heck of it, for giggles, let's see what we can get in there. So we know how far off. Let's try 10. Huh. Yeah, we're about 10 thousandths there. That works real good in there. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll set this at 20. Hopefully this is going to work with these original points. I mean, seems like a lot of these I'm getting anymore. The condensers are either burned out of them and I can't get them to spark back to life again. We end up going with the electronic, but I would be hopeful on this one. It'd be cool if it worked. There he is. Yeah, just a little bit tighter now. Sometimes these fellas can be a little on the touchy side, you know what I'm saying? There we go. I'm liking that a lot better right now. Now we got 20 thousandths on this guy. All right, well, go ahead and put this on here and hope for the best. Got our flywheel key. That one slid off there somewhere. There it is. I'm gonna say I noticed it had one on there. I'm just gonna set this on here and pop this key down in here and see if we can get some. All right. Well, let's put the cover back down on it. Come on. See if this is going to be in a better mood this time. Alright, now see if I can get some spark out of this guy now. Hey, we got spark on it now, folks. Alright. I don't know if you've been able to see that or not, but yeah, let me put this up here. I'll give her a little tug here and see if you can see that spark one more time. You can kind of see it lighting up. Alrighty. Well, let's put this guy back together here. Alright, put this points cover back on. Don't want to forget to put the flywheel key back down. That would be a problem alone. Put a little bit of speed blaster on those threads before we snug that starter clutch down. Okay, now put a little bit of PB Blaster on the starter clutch just to work down. Yeah, I know these things are supposed to be dry down there, but this PB Blaster, it's not going to hurt it. Give it a little bit of lubrication just so those balls can work in out of those channels inside that clutch. I don't recommend going putting grease on those things. Remember I did that a long time ago when I first started out doing this stuff back when I was probably about 10. Yeah, I put grease in there and this did not work. Go ahead and grease some of this other stuff up and put one right here. All right. Come on now. I feel good about putting some of that PB Blaster inside that cylinder, and while we've been working on this, that can, when we rotate it around, that blaster can be working those rings loose in there, giving a little bit of lubrication. That way we're not getting a dry start on this. Alright, well, guess we'll set this guy down on the ground and see if we can get this thing to bark off. Now, I know we got some lovely fuel down inside this tank that I know is no good, so we're gonna siphon that out of there. Oh yeah, that feels nasty. Tell you, these old turkey basters work great for sucking gas out of these gas tanks. Go get me some gas. I'm just going to put a little bit of gas down in there and swish that around and suck it back out in case there's any debris or dirt in there. Slosh that around in there, suck that back out. Gas tank on this is in really good shape. This is when they actually made good stuff, though. None of this cheap stuff they got there making today. I've always liked these old Briggs engines here. You can't kill these things. Alright. Now, I'm going to go get me some 40-to-1 gas to put in there, so it's got a little bit of oil when we start this up. I'm sure this diaphragm and this carburetor gaskets are all deteriorated and rotted. It's not going to run, I don't think, not without some help, but who knows. Maybe it will, we never know. Well, see what this fella's gonna do. I'm sure the spark plug's gonna fall out a couple times here, but alright, get me some laughing gas to spray in there. Yeah, she's gonna run. How about that? Give her one more shot of gas here. Whoa, how about that? She runs. Well, let's take this outside so it don't stink up the whole shop here. Well, there we have it there. I'm really quite surprised this thing's sitting there running as nice as can be. Took a little bit to get that diaphragm in there, get some fuel going through there and circulating that, and getting that more pliable what it is. But hey, she doesn't run out too bad, for a mower that's been sitting for golly who knows how long. Well, all in all, I'd say this was a win getting this up and going. I did take and clean up the numbers on that original shroud that I have for this, and this is a 1971, so I was in the ballpark on it. I was guessing 70, 71, but something else I noticed I'm gonna have to take and tighten the engine up on this thing. The bolts are a little loose. I noticed a little bit of wobble when she was running, so we'll fix that up. But yeah, I'm really impressed how this thing just sat for so long, and I was really concerned about the diaphragms in this carburetor, but she picked up and she ran just fine. Like I said, you just can't kill these old Briggs and Strattons, and this little 3-horse here we was able to save. This is going to be one that's going to be going up for sale. We'll put this up on the bay. I'm having a hard time talking. I had an appointment. I got that abscess tooth pulled out here this morning, so I might sound a little funny more than what I normally do. So, but anywho, so if you're new to this channel for the first time, we do a lot of this stuff on the channel. We got all kinds of cool videos of Will It Runs. I got a playlist of different things we do. We got some Farmall tractors, Ford, some garden tractor restorations. You might find something in there you might find you're liking to check out. Thank you so much for stopping by here and hanging out with us as we go through and get this up and running. I appreciate every one of you for taking the time to do so, and I'd like to send a personal invite out right now. If you've not already done so, maybe you consider subscribing to this channel or leaving a like or a comment down below. And until next time, we'll see you all in our next video. Take care, everyone.